Hey, welcome to the show. Which fraction is larger? We have 3/4, 1/8, and a half. I'm going to give you some different ways on looking at fractions. There's so many different ways to do it. I'm just going to give you a couple of different ways to look at fractions. A half, I'm going to start way over here. I'm going to talk about pizzas. I like pizza. A half would look like this, and I'll shade in a half right here. That is a half right here. 1/8, draw my pizza right here. 1/8, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this pizza up into 8 pieces. So put a line right here and a line right there. I always like to have this as my center right here, and then line going this way and this way. This is 1/8 right here. So this is one of these 8s. So I'm going to shade that in, just like that. So right away you can see that 1/8 is smaller than a half. You'll notice that 8 is a bigger number than 2. So what this means is as the number gets bigger, the slices are getting smaller. Hey, I'd rather have a half of a pizza than an eighth of a pizza. But what about this? This works right here when you are dealing with fractions that have the numerator the same. 1 is the numerator, 1 is the numerator, so 1/8 and a half. All right, it's an easy way to figure it out that way. So the bigger the number here, the smaller the piece. But what happens when you have a numerator that's different? Here's our denominator. The number on the bottom is our denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my pizza. I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. Put the line just like that. All right. And then I'm going to shade in 3 of my pieces. So right here, this would be 1/4 if I were to do it that way. So this is 1/4. This is 2/4. Now you see that 2/4 equals a half. And now I'm going to finish here with 3/4. All right. So now you can see that 3/4 is bigger than 1/8 and a half. Okay. Now there's also another way you can take a look at that. I can draw some number lines. I'm going to draw 3 number lines. I should have drawn those a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Right here is 0, 0, and a 0. And over here is 1, 1, and 1. All right. In the middle from 0 to 1 is a half. So you can see between 0 and 1 is a half. And now for an eighth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this into 8ths. So I'm going to put some lines right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This right here is 1/8. Put a little dot there. Put 1/8. Kind of hard to see that. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to do 3/4. So I need to divide my line into 4ths. So here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Okay. And so my 3/4 is right here. So this is 3/4. So you can see that if I can get a box or something like that, 3/4 is bigger than a half and 1/8. So that's one way you could do it. You can also use division. All right. So what I can do is I can take 3/4 right here. I put the 3 right here and the 4 on the outside. And so how many times can I put 4 into 3? You can't do it, can you? So I need to turn that into a decimal. So I put a decimal here. And when I do a decimal, that means I can add as many zeros as I want. So I'm going to put a 0 right there. Now how many times can I put 4 into 30? 7 times. So I'm going to put a 7 right here, right above that 0. So 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract. And now I have 2, and now I'm going to add another 0, bring it all the way down here. How many times can I put 4 into 20? 5 times. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 3/4 equals 0.75. What about 1/8? All right, so I take the 8. So before I put the 3 in the inside, so we just do the same thing. So I'm going to put the 8 on the outside, the 1 in the inside. So I'm dividing that. Can I put 8 into 1? Can't do it, can I? Need to add a 0. I'm going to put a 0 on the outside right here. And then I put a 0 here. So I can put 8 into 10 one time. So 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract 2 right here. Bring another 0 down. How many times got to put 8 into 20? 2 times. So 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract, and I have 4. And I'm going to put a 0 down here again. How many times can I put 8 into 40? You see 8 times 4, what is that? 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. So our 1/8 would equal 0.125. What about a half? We'll put our 2 here and our 1 there. And can I put 2 into 1? Can't do it. Need to make that a decimal. How many times does 2 go into 10? 5 times. And we'll put a 0 here just so you can see that here. And then this is not 5 cents. This is 50 cents because I can just keep on putting zeros here, all right? So it doesn't matter. I can have 0.5, 0.50, 0.50000000, all right? So it's still the same amount. So a half equals 0.5, 1/8 equals 0.125, and 3/4 equals 0.75. 3/4 is the winner because it is larger right here. So I guess if I'm going to go to this party, I'm going to say, may I please have 3/4 of the pizza? I suppose some of the guests are going to be like, no, I don't know. Just before I end, the other day, one of my students was making a graph of 1/8. And so she did a circle like this, and then she went like this. She kind of divided it like that. I used to get there's a place around here that served a pizza like this, and I always got the corner piece of the pizza and it had more crust. Do you see how this piece right here is not equal to this piece and this piece right here? Whenever you make a fraction, all the pieces need to be equal. So that's why this is not a good idea on how to draw it. You need to make your circle here, make sure your center is in the middle, and then draw a line just like that. So this would be 1/8 right here. All right, so that would equal 1/8. So just a couple little tips and tricks, little hints about fractions. Fractions are pretty cool. There's more ways on how you can go about finding which fraction is larger, but I just wanted to throw some basics at you. And I think it's always important to look at a fraction visually to understand it that way first. Also having a number line like that. And then this part comes later on, and then we get into finding common denominators. But I think I gave you enough right now. I'm getting a little hungry. I think I'm going to go get some pizza. I'm hoping to get that pizza right there. Would you like a small piece, a half of, or a 3/4? Hey, thanks a lot for watching the show. I hope you are having a great day out there. Stay safe. Check out the other channels and videos I have. I'd sure appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. That means the world to me. And just have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Adios. Goodbye.